Welcome to the deep dive powered by puntingform.com.au.
What we found is that the gentlemen that were normally coming on their own once or twice a month now bring their wives. And the wives mightn't be totally interested in harness racing, but they go and play the poker machines. So we get their money as well. And they're bigger spenders than the men.
Boys, Mark Rhoden.
Hello.
Rob Scurry, fresh off a SA trip, and our man Ciurleo. Boys, how are we?
Yeah. I'm up and about after that intro. Thanks for that. That's got me going.
That's how you write a business
Work
plan.
on our sort of overlays and sort of a bit of banter like that. We will get better. Where should we start? Doomben 10,000.
Why not?
Quote of the day, Mark Rhoden, given that there was a suicidal tempo put on.
Yes, well, the punting form data tells us that the overall figures, they've gone 11.3 fast for the 600, which is low flying in my book. But the Rhovians trainer said post-race he just wished there'd been a bit more pressure on him, and the Rhovian might have got over him. But sadly, they can go 16 fast for the 600. Maybe that's what he needed.
We should probably clarify that statement to say it was of the training partnership of Trent and Toby and Trent Edmonds, that quote is attributed to Trent Edmonds. I'll be making
sure. Is that the younger or older?
He's the younger.
What do you think of the tactics employed by Graf?
Well, look, a big congratulations to the connections of Graf. Their horse ran a personal best. It's fastest ever first 600 in a race. So well done. I'm not sure whether there was a money back to the like you get your nom or your acceptance fee back if you run, fast pace to the 600 post or something like that. It's great narrative post race for those that don't switch channels. Jimmy Byrne, the rider of Graf, said he thought he worked across and got outside the leader very comfortably and was disappointed in the horse's performance when he was asked to pick up at the top of the straight. And it didn't rate a mention in the steward's report either.
I'd known this horse from Sydney. He was a notorious pest in a previous life, but one thing he wasn't was a leader.
Yeah, or maybe like first up last prep when he absolutely pissed in at Caulfield, he sat off a good speed.
Now, I'll say that I'll apologise if I'm wrong, but I certainly won't apologise. But I didn't see any COT, but Michael Maxworthy, who was doing the pre-race stuff on Sky Thoroughbred Central, did say that there's a tip around course that Graf is going forward.
Ooh.
That's what he said pre-race. Now, I think a few punters might have latched on to Vega 1, mainly the place. And unfortunately for them, they had a 4-kilo kid, Glenn Sit-Down Bossy, who looks terrible on them currently. Bossy's about 3 from his last 60. 2 of them are Group 1 wins, and he didn't give the horse a lot of favours on Saturday, I don't think. But, look, it's purely for me out of that race, all honours to the winner. Great to see Nash bash it while he let it drift to the inside of the track, which is a place that all horses were trying to get away from and all riders were trying to get away from throughout the day.
So was there an inquiry into Nash's ride or to the Graf ride?
There was a mention in the steward's report about Nash over-whipping the horse, but not enough to justify a suspension, just a fine.
There was no inquiry into the tactics and they had to take their time to review the sectionals?
If I was a steward, I'd answer that question by saying, sectionals?
Well, they're big on them down in Victoria. I just asked Teo Nugent.
We'll have to get to that, won't we? Yeah, look, Eduardo was Nash fined 1,000 for using the whip on 16 occasions throughout the event. Vega 1 did make the steward's report. Bumped at the start, laid in under pressure in the home straight. The end.
Were you, like me, a little terrified when the blue jacket of trekking emerged from the ruck at about the 250?
Well, I was terrified from the top of the straight, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've overbet.
Let's be honest. When you have a big bet at that price, you're almost terrified from the moment you place the bet.
I tell you how desperate I was for that horse to win. at the furlong, I was looking for excuses. Well, this is how sick I am. And I haven't gone back and noticed if the horse wore it. But I swear that horse had a ribbon in its mane. And I yelled at the 200 again, what's that fucking ribbon in its mane for? Get it, Nash! Like I was looking, I lost my head.
Concerned about the aerodynamics, were you, at that point with the ribbon?
I was making excuses before you're waiting for it to get beat. But look, it was there to be beaten. They couldn't run past it. The Harrovian, was the eye catcher, like Trent said, with a bit more tempo, he could win, could have won. But honestly, he's probably the horse out of that race that you'd sort of consider looking forward to a Stradbroke. Probably, I thought the rest of the strange meeting. So many horses just did not run to market, and some other performances were just are in the say what category.
Well, speaking of that, Curls, the biggest figure of the day on the puntingform.com.au data is race 2 Reloaded, 8.7 above the all average. That's amazing, really.
I tweeted post race Uncle Chris doing Uncle Chris things. Like, genuine, how does Reloaded do that? Now, in fairness to the horse, this is probably gets into a debate of are some horses just pack runners and nonnies, right? Or is that a myth? Reloaded ran to its figure when it chased Almeida last start. Like, it ran right up to it, I thought. They produced a big figure in that Almeida race. And, J-Mac was very aggressive on this horse. He was often going 4 deep early and kept running. It was a big effort, really big effort. I think it was as far as the punting form sectional data is concerned, I had a quick look at the sectional time rank for the meeting, and I thought the track dried out too. Probably fair to say the track probably improved as the day went on. Reloaded was in race 2. He's ran the third fastest last 6 and last 400 of the meeting. That's a big performance.
See, Waller's the main owner too.
Probably brought them all out after it got beat at $1.10 at a Doomben 3 back in a midweek. Missed a place in a midweek class 2 or something, whatever it was.
That was a heavy 10.
Bottomless. No dispersions, Uncle Chris, all right? Just top bloke.
Good friend of
the warning, Curls.
Warning, yeah. Look, I could not have got a race / horse any more wrong than what I got this race. It ran the fastest last 200 of the meeting on the puntingform.com.au data. Warning, ran the fastest last 200 of the meeting.
It's a good horse.
And
clearly.
3-year-olds.
Cox played off that.
3-year-olds are no good. M-Rod, 100 to 1-er. Just turn taking.
Well, I have been saying this for a little while about the Team Waller. Talk about team riding in the Stradbroke. That was clear plan. Graf Gas trying to go with Eduardo and the stablemate Vega 1, right?
10,000.
10,000, sorry. I did anticipate a similar scenario here in this race that was won by Criminal Defence. That there'd be a little bit of tempo here with a few Waller runners and Signor Toba, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sort of back off a good tempo and kaboom up the straight. On the punting form data, they've gone very slow here, very slow, and this Criminal Defence has sort of lobbed on speed at a walker's tempo and, sort of dashed from the 6 to the 2 probably is where he's won the race because the winner's walked home as well. Its last furlong, it got home pretty slow, but the damage was done between the 6 and the 4 when he out-sprinted the other horses. So talk about him going to the Derby. Look, I don't see it, but the trainer has been talking it up for a long time. Senor Toba was good on the clock from an unwinnable position in run, really. Now, I'm not quoting J-Mac here. Maybe it was Bernie or someone like that on Sky post-race talking about Senor Toba, and the comment was, you'd think with a few more stable runners in the race, there would have been more tempo. Is what she quoted J-Mac saying. So whether he said that or not, I don't know, but that was certainly the quote post-race there. So obviously, if most of these horses go into a race like the Derby or the Derby, depends where you grew up. Yeah, anyway, I was on Cucaracha and Senor Toba, and they both ran really well. They were just beaten by the tempo.
It's a gross injustice that's been imposed upon us, and any injustice has got to be highlighted. And for us to highlight it, we might have to take the most drastic action, that is strike action.
Speaking of strike action, they might as well not race against David Van Dyke up here at the moment. Honestly, did you see that horse yesterday, Orbison? DVD had a winner at, and this is not a word of a lie, by the way, $1.12 into 105. They took the $1.12.
What did it start on the fair?
It was like maybe $1.16 or something.
Well, was it a bit slow out?
I don't know for sure. Do you want me to check that for sure? I should check that. It was obviously it was a clear standout, obviously, but I see that there was an article online saying that the owners knocked back like a 7-figure offer for the horse, but David doesn't want to push the horse just yet because he doesn't want to take him to the big races and get the horse spooked by the big crowds and stuff like that. So we're knocking back $7 million and we're going to go through our classes winning at Ipswich and Sunny Coast. What the actual fuck? Absolutely doing my head in.
Any horses that you want to stamp and anyone watching can put in their black book heading forward, Curls, from Doomben?
Yes, 3-year-old, not an option. I did mention in the pre-race that I nearly came into this horse as it drifted on the fair. It got out to a ridiculous price. Had the blinkers off, settled well back, and sort of went through like inside middle of the field and was a real flashing light run. Thought it went enormous. Not sure where it goes to from here. Maybe the Gunsing Classic, because in Racing Queensland Wisdom, they programmed the Queensland Guineas at the start of the carnival over 1,600. So all the 3-year-olds get here and go 12, 14. Oh, there's no guineas. We'll have to go to the Gunsind for the milers. So I'd imagine it'll turn up at the Gunsind on Stradbroke Day. This is sort of what I'm anticipating. It was one that I really liked that's outside of the obvious. Outback Barbie's going to the broodmare sale. Thank God. It's produced like an amazing finishing burst to win on Saturday. So I'll be happy to see it gone. One less horse you have to do the form on. And probably the other one that we haven't spoken about, which we should, was the effort of the 2-year-old Prince of Boom on a 6-day backup, if you don't mind, off its debut win on a wet track at the Sunshine Coast last Sunday, lobs at Brisbane Saturday, completely off the map, relentless money for it, and absolutely kicked their heads in. A little bit of excitement. Sorry?
Almost the same time as Eduardo.
Yeah. A little bit of excitement pre-race with the scratching of Mautai, who was that big, impressive debut winner at that Monday Ipswich meeting, and also Giannis, the Waller runner, who was well-specced, and I backed it. Played up in the gates when it got loaded, backed out past fit, and basically completely took no part after that. Missed away, and it was just, complete forgive. So,
what about Love Tap, the long-striding grey horse?
Wow. I don't know what to make of that. Let me just bring up that race again. What were we saying pre-race? Best horse.
Wrong distance.
First
long
up.
stride.
One trial.
They backed it. They backed it like it was going to win. I couldn't have it. No,
I did. I was just having a look like it was. They went out -5.1. for the race. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to make of it. Back to the inside. Only got beat 1.7, I suppose. I think I tweeted post-race, maybe this one or the one after, about Nash. Like, what is he doing today? Like, is he just riding the track trying to find the best lane for Eduardo or what? Because his rides were below expectation, market and him as well, I thought. And that wasn't a pocket tweet either, which you'll be shocked to know.
This 2-year-old does look pretty sharp, eh?
Oh, unbelievable. Like, on the 6-day backup as well. It's recorded a big figure. Did it easily.
The other horse I thought I'd ask you about, GTT.
Yep, in race 1.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, well, we're on it. That's why, Jack. It was a complete forgive first up, and look, it probably had the ride as it turned out was smart. They went back on it. They got the tempo they expected, and worked through its gears really well. Looked the winner a long way out from once they sort of straightened, and once he got out into clear air, nice big striding fella. And once he got into clear air, he really attacked the line. So that was only a Class 6 on Saturday. He's a progressive horse. Obviously, off that, you can see that he can continue to go through his grades. He's only won the 5 races, so there's, if he goes to another 1,200-ish, 1,100, 1,200 Class 6 later, in a couple of weeks' time, he'd be favourite and winning again off that.
Well, I think that's about 8 in a row winning Metro Saturday sets from you, Curls. So well done. Onwards, more to come. But just very exciting little day there in Queensland. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Bit of a marathon for you too.
Well, we had our first bet at 11:25 a.m. at Rockhampton on Saturday, something like that, and we had our last bet at 9 p.m. at Toowoomba on Saturday night.
Now let's head to SA, South Australia, City of Churches. Scurry, you ventured over there for the boys. You won. Yep. You proved that just eyes on pony is all that you need. Very, very well done.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
Hat. Firstly, compare the experience. You're a Rosehill, Randwick, sometimes Warwick Farm man, a little bit of Canterbury. Compare Rosehill, Randwick to Morphettville.
First thing you notice is the distinct lack of security goons. Everyone having a good time, seem to be, smoking wherever they want, drinking, very relaxed vibe, good. So that was great. It also had a bit of
cigarettes.
On course.
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure you're allowed to grow one plant over there.
I think they've changed that, mate.
No one told my uncle. He's still.
Well, Johnny Howard era, we all tightened up a bit. But yeah, I like it, and it's got a bit of Moonee Valley about it in the fact that you've got the pre-parade out the back, so you get a really good look as a MYM. I got the pre-parade, and then only a short walk through to the mounting yard. So I'm having 2 looks at the horses every race. Some races I almost felt like I got sick of them walking around. I've already made up my mind. It just. Look, I said to my buddy the night before, if you don't think Behemoth and Jigtra are going to win, they got form all over this, And then I got to the races and they looked average, So, yeah, less I know, the better, boys. Like, we had a tip in the first race for the 7. Did we? Remember that, Laundry?
Just another busted and spruik. Just another busted and spruik runner, Laundy. D. Oliver.
That had strong data.
Yeah. Anyway, I wish I didn't know because he looked a bit fat, a bit soft for me for that stable because they usually get him pretty fit. And the 5 and 6, and anyway. So, look, I've really enjoyed myself. Found enough winner. Found a winner in the last. Found a little girl I really like, Alana Kelly. Got 2 home for me at Doubles Heggers. Good girl.
Should we talk about that? Like the post race meeting, fucking.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Just tipping the 3 of us and Peter who do the form into a jockey to follow.
Yeah.
In A. Kelly.
And Paul Massara can't train either. It turns out he's going all right as well. But, eyes on ponies, I'm doing all right. But yeah, look, she got the thing home at $12. They had no right to win. She got it home by a nose, and then the last she's shown real courage to get up the inside.
No, she didn't show a lot of courage, Rob. she showed good courage, but she was also helped by the fact that the entire 80% of the jockey population decided the fence was off and were trying to get right off it, and they're just allowing jockeys to roll up the inside.
Was there a group aneurysm in the jockeys' room pre-race or what? Because why was everything steering wide and winners coming up inside?
First and second in the good race were just up along the fence.
Yeah. They just follow each other.
They're sheep.
Well, once the trucks
What's your saying, Rhoden?
Foot shorter.
If they were a foot taller, they'd be sweeping the streets. That's a bit unkind, isn't it?
That's unkind. We love and appreciate all our participants in
I'll tell you what, just on
Alana,
I think maybe Rob has kick-started her career because she rides at about 6% winning strike rate career last 12 months, but she's ridden 3 winners from her last 5 since.
Yep.
So
we'll have to get the interns to do a Canberra Willis style tweet about Alana's stats.
Rob has possibly kick-started her career.
Oh, done, Rob.
2 on the biggest day of the year. There she was.
Big race rider. Mark, any thoughts? Adelaide, Rob?
I wanted to ask Rob, had you seen Gitra in Sydney?
Yeah.
And there was a difference?
Look, he was doing, he wanted to be there. He wanted to race, but it didn't look as good as he did when he won first up. Same with the big boy Behemoth. I've seen him before in Sydney when he would run in the Golden Eagle, and I've seen, he just didn't look that good. And I'm half kicking myself, to fall into old dirty work, and who's just a big, roly-poly podgy thing, always holding condition. But the winner looked great. The ex-Darwin horse.
Whatever.
I think it's going to Queensland too. I think that might be a bridge too far, but that's the plan.
Depends what they're aiming, I suppose.
All I took it, I started here in the post-race, and originally, and normally that sort of stuff makes me fucking angry, and just shows you how it is a fucking lottery. They just take turns, trainers, riders, horses. And then I started thinking about Avocado Sunset. We could be on a similar path.
Yeah, what Darwin, Adelaide,
ended up Darwin, season it in the sun. Toughen it up via the Alice.
So, it worked for Reloaded on Saturday up here, didn't it? A few weeks in the sun in Queensland. Boom!
Sun on its back, as Uncle says. They love the sun on their back. Look, if I was to follow anything out of the meeting, it would be in the 2-year-old race that Karakasu jumped too well, 3 wide on the speed, battled on. I don't know where it's going to go, but still had good condition on it. Can win definitely in South Australia. So Karakasu race 2. That's the better, man. And look, downsides, they had Sky 1 on the PA all day, so headphones mandatory. And they seem to think that we care about presentations as well. They had them going over the PA, so you missed out on the Sydney race. So thumbs down there.
I read somewhere that blaring Sky 1 at volume for extended periods is a tactic used in Guantanamo Bay. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
Julian's copping Sky 1 in Belmarsh. Free Julian.
Imagine having this just on repeat in Guantanamo.
Imposed upon us, and any injustice has got to be highlighted. And for us to highlight it, we might have to take the most drastic action. That is strike action.
It was good to hear Dave. I did hear Dave Stanley a little bit back on Sky reading the odds this week. He's much better at it than Munsey.
Fuck, he's talented. He's very talented.
Munsey has me reaching for the remote, man, big time. Where's that mute button?
Well, I think he's genuine. I like him.
Dave,
come for this one, Mardo.
Yeah, Mardo and Stanley, they're my 2 favourites on Sky 1.
Yeah.
On the whole. Anyway.
Mardo's a funny.
Yeah.
I'll throw back to the glory days of Richard Friedman reading out the tote dividends for the afternoon dogs. They were great days on Sky Channel.
Things must have been tight at the SBI back in those days, was it? Racing, eh?
I'm hosting. What else we got to do on the show, guys?
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind asking you guys' opinion. Just question without notice here. I noticed on Twitter that the young fella in the studio, had to call the Preakness Stakes in the US on Sunday morning or Saturday, whenever it was, who cares? And he had to call the race just off the cuff. Got me thinking, is that the easiest job in the entire industry?
Like, be careful.
Like, honestly, right? Let me just step you through this. Your eyes are connected to your brain, which is connected to your mouth, so your mouth says what your eyes see. Like, we do it every day. Can't be that hard.
I think it's harder than it looks.
Surely some of you blokes listen to Dubbo on a Sunday arvo when Cole takes the binoculars.
Yeah. No, I don't.
No, it's muted. Definitely.
I wish I learnt the lesson in muted Adelaide. Gee, that was torturous. The calls there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there'd be no relation to what's happening in front of you.
Yeah.
It would be much more difficult to call it with flair than just call what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to be able to make shit up on the spot that's engaging, like Rick McIntosh does, for example.
Yeah.
Darren Flindell.
Yeah. As opposed to just calling it as you see it anyway.
Well,
calling it accurately like Mr. Mark Sheen.
Well, the thing about our esteemed colleague Mark Sheen was that his knowledge is so great in that he called all the trials and was a renowned yard watcher as well. So,
exactly.
And a big form student. So if something unexpected was happening, either in terms of a horse's fitness or where it was in the run, he, just through his inflection, he could tell you, if the thing was meant to be leading and it was third last.
Oh, I think Adam O's good at that down here.
Yeah.
I think if you cut back what he's doing, you can tell he gives a shit and has researched it.
Yeah,
we had a bit. The reason why I ask is we had a bit of a reshuffle in the calling ranks in Queensland the last few weeks, and there's some different voices calling different venues, and I just wondered what people thought of it, because it is does it change anything that you do when you're in run and things like that? I mean, obviously the transistor punters rely on it. It's a matter of whether you want them to be accurate or entertaining or what the go is there. So,
I spent half a Saturday watching half of them on KO. Google Chromecasted to the TV with a baby on me with my iPad up with the odds. So Yulong January, we're on it and it's travelling okay. And then I look down and there's no odds there.
Yeah, it's already won. Yeah.
It was a weird feeling because I missed the opportunity to get through the gears.
Yeah.
You take the win. So anyway,
yeah, it
was I don't know how they do it off the radio, given the different style of callers, the in-play punters, but plenty do it and do it well.
Exactly. I just thought of, with that, like I say, with our shuffling of the caller ranks, it's sort of hard to get into a rhythm if you're listening to the transistor, because you take Dave Fowler up here, for example, who's a punter. That's the caller I like, because he does form, he bets, and he calls accordingly. It's interesting. Anyway.
Anything out of Rosehill that you want to talk about, or a horse to follow or anything?
Well, the horse that I imagine, maybe not. The horse that's going places is Lost and Running, who won the Luskin Star and put another big figure. It was put two big figures together now. Ballistic Lover in the Denise's Joy, 25-1 ish on Betfair, has won by gone straight to the front from the outside barrier and won by 2.5 lengths. Not mentioned at all in the Stewards report. I mean, this is a horse where you'd want to ask the question, this horse has jumped out of the ground at 25-1 and put a hole in them, but because it was a last start winner of a much worse race at Doomben, they just shrug their shoulders and say, it's not a form turnaround. It won last start, it won this start. And whereas the two wins are actually chalk and cheese. It was ridden very, very confidently from the outside gate.
I think it's a little bit harsh on Queensland, mate. It was only a scone meeting at Rosehill.
Yes.
At least
every good race is one of the hardest races to win in the country.
Every single mare's race or filly's race is black type in Sydney.
Speaking of stewards, they quietly.
Before you move on, it's gone out, it's improved a lot.
It has.
That's
what I'm saying is that you just look at the form guide and it's got a 1, a last start winner. You can't pull them in and say, explain the improvement, when in reality, that's a bigger improvement than a lot of things that have run 7th last after winning, I would suggest.
Well, send it back to Queensland. Win again. Fair chance it will.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, stewards. So there was an inquiry into Teo Nugent's ride on the 1st of May at Sandown in race 2 on Lady Solly. Lady Solly went 9.4 fast on the punting form benchmark figures to the 600. Our Thai Ranger, the same day, a race later, so 30 minutes later, went quicker as the leader. Difference was it won. Lady Solly just lost, around second.
Were we on it?
No, we weren't on either.
Okay.
But you wanted to be on it, and I would have been on it if I was there in run, and I'm sure it would have traded $1, $1.10, Lady Solly. When a horse trades $1.10, if I was a steward and I wasn't sure, because I'm very, very confident that you do not understand how to read the sectionals that you get live. Just trust the market. The market's right. If the horse traded $1 or $1.10 or over $1.50, the jockey's probably giving it a pretty good ride. Because the collective intelligence of the wagering community said this horse is probably going to win given what's happened and what's about to happen.
Yeah.
The fact that this is questioned is embarrassing for the state, for the sport, and for the stewards, and it's incredibly scary message that they send to the young riders. Hey, mate, you showed a little bit too much initiative here. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
When the truth is, stewards, and it's not their fault because they're not given the tools to do their job properly, but the truth is you got this badly wrong, and it's embarrassing. Teo Nugent's ride was fucking outstanding, really, really brave, and should be encouraged. It wasn't even the fastest to the 600 on the day, and if you look at they've snuck in their inquiry findings, and they've tried to use numbers to justify their inquiry. It's bullshit. It wasn't the fastest to the 600 on the day. It was the second fastest. The horse's PB performance was a 7.3 fast to the 600. So Teo's missed that by 2 lengths, going 60 k's an hour on a horse.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to criticise him for that. And the trainer, he's half thrown Teo under the bus post-race. If I were you, Teo, I just wouldn't ride for the bloke. That would make me sick.
Half thrown him under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much has. I've only ever seen him that one time in the Shield reports. So I don't want to completely bake him, but I thought that was disgraceful. And I wouldn't have a horse with him because he doesn't know how to... He doesn't understand tactics, which is crucial to winning races, especially on a Saturday.
All they've here is the result. So he's told him to lead on it, not to restrain it, let it roll. So it's obviously a free-going sprinter. And because it's not got beaten, it's a bad ride.
Yeah, but it's traded at $1.10, I'd say.
Yeah.
Comfortably. Which means it's a great ride. The Betfair fluctuations, the exchange fluctuations, whilst the Betfair SP is not 100% accurate because it'll adjust when it goes in play, the in-play numbers are all there for any steward to see, anyone to see post-race, and a really, really good indication this horse was given none. You'll see plenty of leaders. It would happen on Saturday at Flemington. It'll happen today wherever they race. Happen every single day of the week. There'll be heaps of leaders that won't trade below $2 because they're not going to win. The market knows this. If that horse traded, and it would have traded south of $1.20, I'm confident. Do all that. Do your own research there. But, yeah. Very frustrating and embarrassing for the sport. I thought from the Flemington meeting, well done to Jacko. Outstanding set again. Covered for me big time. We won again. And I thought Odeon from the Elton Zara camp, it's gone a lot better than it went. But it went huge there on Saturday first up. They are a first up camp, but that's a stayer, so I think you can sort of follow that with a little bit of confidence next 2 or 3 starts. Anything else, lads?
I've got a couple of things I've got to recap from Queensland. Sorry, I didn't do it earlier, but the questions on Twitter that we...
Oh yeah, no, that's on the list. Now we're going to go just slowly through the question on Twitter because we always don't, and it's shit by us. So you start, Curls.
Righto. Team riding and its finest on Graph Saturday.
Covered that, haven't we?
I think we all gave that a tick. Yep.
Stats don't lie. Spectacular ride or a field full of jockeys asleep on criminal defence winning the Rough Habit Plate. the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. Everybody wins the lottery. You might win the lottery once. Put it down to a lucky win. I'll happily eat my words if it comes out and reproduces again in a more genuine run race next time. That's how I've left it. What are we on here? Do we bother about complaining this? How often does something go around $1.01, Orbison, Sunny Coast Sunday? Is that an indication of ability or lack of form of the opposition? Well, I suppose it's a bit of both, definitely. I sort of mentioned earlier that Orbison had like 7-figure offers about it. There's one owner in that horse, Orbison, a Ms. J. McMillan. She must love racing. That's a big offer. Holy fuck. Split screen. I think Sam Griffin is referring to Sky Channel's split screen. Like, honestly, any Victorian participant complaining about Sky has got their priorities wrong. They need to get used to and train themselves to watch the channel dedicated to their jurisdiction. All right? It's simple as that. Stop whinging. Don't watch it. Watch.com, because that's dedicated Victorian / South Australian channel. All right? We know the commercial agreements. Volandis runs Tab Media. He also has the keys to the Murdoch media empire. So
I got rid of his stuff.
Everything will be skewed to maximising turnover on New South Wales races, and that's why they split screen everything and give the New South Wales coming up 2 minutes airtime as they load into the gates or whatever else. So it's just like not worth arguing about anymore. Will Curly stop bagging the Harrovian? Bit harsh.
Not.
No. I potted the Harrovian going to the All-Star Mile, said it was none. It ran a credible race.
Without like challenging.
Yeah, so I just like don't fall into the trap to think that I like horses. I assess them in the field that they're in. Like, I'm not gravitating to a horse, particularly an open company horse. It's map, price, form. That's it. The Harrovian was the run of the race outside of the winner in the Doomben 10,000, and if he gets into the Stradbroke field with that 53, 54 kilo mark over 1350 at Eagle Farm, he's going to run a hell of a race and be in the finish. So, not really potting him. In fairness, though, I did question the North Queensland form when he first come to Queensland. I bet against him a couple of times, and he won. So, well done.
Got a few questions from Hugo first. Well, you've kind of answered them.
I've answered the question about selling Orbison, but that's just a personal thing. Should we be less self-righteous about owners' decision on selling horses overseas? I'm just answering the question. I couldn't care less if she sells it or not. If she sells it, it's good, because there's one less horse to do the form on. And so I hope I do sell it.
What about J-Car Media update, de-ruddering update, topics unconnected?
How did Jamie go on the weekend? She won a race on Weekend Hustler, or whatever it's called. What's it called?
She had one winner over here. Shut up.
She's riding good.
Speaking of me potting horses, I potted that horse a bit, haven't I? What was that horse called, that one in Adelaide that she rode? Brooklyn Hustle. Sorry, I said Weekend Hustler. Little bit of difference.
Found Brooklyn Hustle.
What about your new segment, Curls? Your weekly segment?
To
finish the show with.
Special announcement. Now, I'm partial to a trumpet, right? A little bit partial to a trumpet.
Nah, not you, mate.
Really?
Yeah, like, for example, I had shares in 2 horses running on Saturday, and they both won. And one of them, we were on the mailbag, we were on it $16, $17 SP. How much you reckon I got out of that? Fuck, mate. Anyway, so I'm partial to a little trumpet, and I thought, rather than sort of try and restrain myself from trumpeting, we should be really encouraging people to trumpet. So we're going to have a Trumpet of the Month award We're going to kick it off in May, so we've got a bit of time, but not necessarily. So if you trumpet and you want to tag us, that's great. We'll accept the nomination, but you can also tag other people's tweets too. Like, you can make it a bit of a piss take if you like. At Trader Matt on Twitter is a great example of a doesn't mind an odd trumpet. He posted a bet slip or a result on Betfair and accidentally leaves the $100,000 balance that he has in his Betfair account in the picture as an example. The subtle trumpet.
Yeah.
So we want to see it. We're gonna give a pack away every month to the best. I'm not going to give it away on the show, but I'll definitely be tweeting it a little bit later. But I've found a trumpet.
I think we should do it on the show because this is like elite trumpeting. This is as trumpety as trumpety gets.
I can't link it here. I don't, it's on my phone, not on my.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got genuine brute form, and he just needs a bit of luck from the gate, and he should be very hard to beat. The only thing I'm filthy about, Ainsy, is I tipped you last night at 390 on form line, and I'm one of those that like my followers to get the prize more than me, and I tend to wait because of it, because if I back it, it goes off, and then I don't get that prize. But I'm back it now, it's into 270, so I'm just hoping it gets back out. I think the 61 kilos.
Oh. So there's the benchmark, because if I back it, they go off.
He's a fan of the show.
That's not a bad.
Great. It's I think we need to embrace this.
Yeah.
This country hates people who are confident. Good on him.
Yeah.
Go, Davo. Go, Davo.
It's a fair trumpet.
Davo.
There's some easy targets out there, so it's like, think outside the square here, because I'm sure that Gary Harley will get a few. Gaz tips every favourite every race pre-race, or gets a cop to tip off Chrissy Lees. Talking to Chrissy on the phone yesterday, he likes this one.
You Australian Bloodstock boys, they're fucking really good guys.
I heard him on the. I heard him.
The Australian Bloodstock racing manager. Join us there.
I heard him. Someone, he must have read something of someone half potting him, because he goes, "I've been doing this job on track for 60 years. What would you bloody know?" Anyway, so I think we're gonna put up a pack, one of our packs, a sports pack for the prize for Trumpet of the Month. So
I'd have Gary Harley on it. If I ran racing, I'd have him on a show. He'd be one of my main people. Gareth Hall, Dave Stanley, Terry Bailey, and Gary Harley.
The dream team.
Two generations collide.
It'll just create
racing from all angles.
It'll create a new universe with all them stars colliding, wouldn't it?
That'd be the best. After dark, adults only.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
9 o'clock.
Back in my days, the back in my.
I don't think Gary's demographic would be awake at 9 o'clock to watch the show. So he'd have to do a midday special or 11 a.m. a breakfast show.
Why does it have to be on after 9? They're not going to be in a hot tub or something, are they?
That's enough. Don't give away too much more. They'll pinch our ideas like they always do.
I love how we stick to the run sheet here. I forgot to ask about Realm of Flowers.
Flu.
That's run a proper Melbourne Cup figure, eh?
Yeah, flu.
Big figure, like off season. I don't know. You can't knock it at all. Given an absolute peach from Mark Zara, who justified the decision to stay in Melbourne. His rides on the horses that could win were fucking outstanding, as you'd expect. Shout out to Paddy Maloney, who got Declare's War home for us.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, genuine how. That was, I thought we'll beat a few times. I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's us. That's a deep dive. Powered by puntingform.com.au. It's a database we're all using. So if you want to ever do your own work and find your own edges in the game, you have to get it. Head to puntingform.com.au, sign up, start the journey yourselves. Boys, what's on this week? Mark Rhoden, where you betting?
Newcastle tomorrow, Kensington Wednesday, Hawkesbury Thursday, Rosehill, and I think it's Newcastle again on Saturday. So
Excited. Scurry? Just the Saturday?
Just the Saturday. Some chance of something at Kenzo, but, I can't commit at this stage.
And Curly?
We have a Wednesday meeting in Ipswich with the rail at 10, so tread warily around that. Warwick on the Southern Darling Downs on Thursday.
I love it when you say the Darling Downs. Feels so like country Australian.
And Saturday, this is a true story. There is a TAB meeting at Nanango on Saturday. Nanango is holding its first TAB meeting.
You going?
I think I'm not sure it's first, but it's first that I remember. There's Aquas Park Gold Coast, Toowoomba, and then there's that main meeting at Doomben, of course, on Saturday with the group races there. But Nanango, I've went to Nanango to check the track out.
Is it a grass sand option?
A little bit of grass, a lot of dirt. We've had a bit of rain though, so it could be grass. It's like a dinner plate shape. Probably is the best way that I could describe it, with a short straight. So on speed rails in run. We're going to have a bet there, just purely because we have to have a bet, because it's a TAB meeting.
Beautiful work.
We'll be finding one so we can watch it. And hopefully there must be Sky too, because it's a TAB meeting, so I assume it's. Might even go and do MYM out of there. Actually, don't know.
Oh please, stream the whole thing.
There's no
Victorian punters. You got Ballarat Wednesday, Kilmore Pakenham double Thursday, Geelong and Cranbourne on Friday, and then Flemington and maybe the Wodonga Maidens on Saturday. But then also Royal Sandown on Sunday.
Is that the jumps meeting?
Don't know, but there'll be some flat ones, even if it is normally. Always remember, if you want to buy tips, go to the website. If you can't see results, they're fucking frauds. Enjoy your week. Bye for now.